Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. So, I'm back. It is Thursday, and I'm going to try something new for the next, well, not exactly 30 days, so it'll be about probably roughly 2 months, since, every day seems to have its own theme now, right? But on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we're going to start talking about body images and how to flip the narrative of being negative to positive. But that's just the teaser. Before we start, I have some cards from the Universe Has Your Back deck. And this is just to wait for some people to come on. So let's see if they have anything to do with body positivity or body image. So I am unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. There you go. I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So remember, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. So what you put out there is what you're going to get back. So if you put out negative, you're going to get negative, right? The next one. When I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. And in a way, that's being in alignment with yourself, right? It's being kind of zen with yourself. But when you are, and see, look, okay, so I'm going to say this looks like an egg being fertilized in the womb. And what it's telling you is that, what you put out there is what you're going to get back. Again, excuse me. Here we go. All right. I apologize. I don't know what's happening. I have very deep spiritual beliefs, and sometimes I feel like when I'm hitting on a really good subject, there's always going to be that one thing that tries to hold us back, right? Because it doesn't want us to get the message out there. And by us, I mean all the people trying to spread positivity, trying to spread light, spread all these wonderful, beautiful things into this world. So again, when I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. When you are in alignment with yourself, when you trust yourself, when you believe that all good things are happening, when you believe all good things can happen, when you believe that everything is on track and on target, and even if you get upended and have a emotional, spiritual, or mental, you trip over yourself mentally, emotionally, maybe even physically, or spiritually, that you're going to be right, be able to get yourself right side up, all right? So the next one. My capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. So again, my capacity to tune into the energy of love gives me the words I need when I'm ready to speak up, the compassion I need when it's time to forgive, and the power I need when I am lost. So this one kind of goes with this one. When I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. Your peace cannot be disrupted. And this is where it's saying right here, your capacity to tune into the energy of love helps you through all these things. It's kind of like, this too shall pass, right? I know a lot of people don't like that. I absolutely used to hate that phrase. My dad would say it to me a lot. Well, this too shall pass. And it's like, you know what? But he wasn't wrong. And it does. And I think sometimes when we're so lost, and we're so just kind of buried in all these emotions, we just think, maybe it's easy for you to say, but it ain't that easy. But it actually can be. We are the ones who make it hard. We are the ones who kind of put that stop in front of our wheel, right? So we can't keep driving forward. And when we remove those blocks, that's what I was thinking of. When we remove those blocks, when we remove all these crazy things that are standing in front of us, we are able to see that energy of love. We're able to see that, hey, you know what? Yeah, bad things happen. Bad things are happening in this world. But what can I do to add something good to it? What can I do to add some light into this world? And it's not always easy. It's not. I had a conversation with a friend last week where they're all, well, going with the flow is impossible for me because of the way I was raised. And, there are some conditionings that we are raised with, and certain ways of thinking, and, certain things that, I don't blame the parents in a lot of cases, because I think they're teaching what, I had to go through all this and I don't want my kid to. So they they could become overprotective, right? They maybe overstep a little bit, and they don't mean to. And, I mean, I had a balance. I had a very protective mother and a very protective father. But my father was also like, hey, you got to let her make mistakes. You got to let her get into trouble and do all these things so she can learn these lessons. And, it's still because of other, factors in my life. There were struggles with, trying to control everything because, you have to keep this little tiny space this little bubble that you're trying to exist in tidy and neat and, perfect for yourself until you realize one day that perfection doesn't exist. It might exist in certain things, like maybe that you see the perfect painting, or you hear the perfect song, or you read the perfect book, but it's perfect to you. However, we are perfectly imperfect. And I like to say that we are perfectly imperfect because I think every time we shoot for some sort of perfection, it becomes not enough. And that's just my opinion. For some people, hey, maybe it exists. But I think for the majority of people, it's like a wish. You get to this place and it's like, well, how can I improve this? And then you realize, whoa, all of a sudden it's not as perfect as you thought it was, because there's always room for improvement. And that's how I feel we are. As humans, we are perfectly imperfect, and there's always room to grow. So I choose to learn through love. These are all love cards. So you know what? I said we are going to be doing the next couple of months, which is 30. So it's going to be 30 days of body positivity, but it's not going to be over 30 days. It's going to be over the span of a few months. But we should finish in September because we're only going to do it 3 times a week. I don't want overkill. So we'll focus on Self-Care Wednesday. We'll focus on Oracle Friday. But all these cards are about love, right? And that's what we need to feel good about ourselves. We need to love ourselves. Body image is just part of it. It's not the whole picture. The whole picture is how we feel about ourselves. And we're going to cover that too. When I say we, it's because I do a live. I mean, these start out as a live for anybody that might be watching the replay later. But it's because I do have people on here that come on to the live. And even if you don't know me, you are welcome to come on. Shelly Marie Lucas, you can find me. I'll be live. All right. 8:30 in the morning, California time. So, but I love that all of these cards are about love, except the first one and the second one. No, the second one. The first one, I'm apologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. And then all these cards now have been about love, right? All these cards have been talking about the love and how we feel about ourselves, the capacity to tune into love, being in alignment with love. I choose to learn through love. So that's a big one. That really, really feels like a big one. Okay. In fact, I think I'm going to make this the card of the day. So if you're on Instagram or Twitter not Twitter, but I guess I can post this one through. Facebook, all those things, maybe even TikTok. I'll put it on TikTok. So I found out, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get her in trouble, but I found out my doctor follows me on TikTok, and she walks in to the exam room on Monday and says, hello, my Aloha tribe. And I'm like, how did you know this? And she's like, I found you on TikTok. And she's like, you're so positive. And I realized I haven't posted in a while because I've been in this bad mental space. And so I really want to get back to that because I love the fact that somebody who works to keep me healthy gets something out of what I'm saying. She even told me when my appointment was over, keep spreading your light and don't stop. And that felt so good. That felt so good because it's like, it was so random. It's like, whoa, hi. But, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But, I am the Aloha Perspective on Twitter. I do have one of those, but on TikTok, whatever the hell I'm trying to say. So when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So right now, I know we look at the world and it feels like we're looking at an absolute shit show, right? I know. But is it possible that even though, this world is in a bit chaotic place right now, that the reason we look at it as being some sort of holy crap, what's happening out there world, is because of social media. Social media doesn't always promote positive stuff. That's why a lot of us out in this world choose to put positive stuff in there. to kind of break up the monotony of all this crap that people are just constantly retweeting or reposting or sharing because they think it's right. Everybody's allowed an opinion, but there's always two sides to every story. Some stories, not so much. But that's a topic for another day. However, when we put more, like when we start to put that positivity out there, we can counteract a lot of what we consider to be the shit show. Right? I mean, you go on social media, you're like, oh my God, this effing world is so messed up and blah, blah. And then maybe that night you go out and have dinner with your friends and the world is perfect. Right? Now I said, for humans, perfection doesn't exist, but it might be the perfect evening for you. You go out with people, or maybe a loved one, or maybe family members, friends, whatever. You go out, you have fun, you're laughing at the table, blah, blah. You get home, you're like, oh, that was such a great evening. You go to sleep, you might have good dreams, you wake up the next morning, maybe you have your morning coffee or whatever you do in the morning to make you feel good, and then, you're having this great day, and then you pop on social media again. And you're like, damn, this world's a shit show. But you've literally negated the last 12 to 15 hours of your life, and how perfect and wonderful the world probably seemed to you in those moments. Because, to be honest with you, there are more moments in this world than we realize. There's hope, there's faith, there's trust. But we get so lost in social media that we forget all these things. We lose our grasp on our own realities. When we put love and light into our own worlds, it's going to spread. It's a ripple effect. You're that little rock in a pond. It's going to hit somebody else. They're going to be a rock in someone else's pond, or a little pebble in someone else's pond. And so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. I mean, you may hear something going, oh yeah, I heard somebody talking about this the other day, and it's amazing. But what if we sat there and said, yeah, this world is a shit show? It's like, you know what? Yeah, there might be a lot of problems with it, but you know what? As long as we keep putting our light into this world, and yeah, some people look at me like I have 20 heads. Which yesterday when I was trying to pick out new glasses probably would have been helpful. But these are not them. These are my favorite ones. But yeah, so it's not always going to be something that's, people warm up to. It's not always going to be something that's accepted widely. But that's why we have to trust. That's why we have to, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So you have to lean into that certainty and faith that everything's going to be, everything's going to work out for its, for the best, or however it's meant to. When I lean on faith, there we go. Here's faith again. When I lean on faith of the universe, peace becomes real. When I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. Again, you might be on social media looking at the world, through poo-colored glasses, and then, you go out with people and the rose-colored glasses go on. And the world seems like a pretty decent place until you go back on social media. And, you decide, oh no, it's still a shit show. And like I said, it might be. I mean, it is, but it's how we view things. Do we want to keep putting the negativity out there? Do we want to keep spreading all this crap that we spread out there? Or do we want to put something good into the world to counteract all the crap that other people are putting out there? Somebody's always going to have an opinion, and it's okay. We all have opinions. I had to hold my tongue a lot over the last couple of days in conversations I had, and that's okay. Because I realize I don't always need to share my opinion. I don't always need to take the bait and have an argument with somebody because I disagree with them. It's about listening and just being present. And sometimes it's all that matters. We don't always have to be right. Because really, when you think about it, an opinion isn't right. It's an opinion. I mean, sure, there might be some facts in there, but when you're throwing everything else in there, you're like, oh, well, yeah, And then it can just cause problems. Sometimes the harder task is actually just staying quiet. So I decided the 11th hour before the show that I wanted to do something different for the show. Now, technically, the body positivity isn't different. It's not a different subject. I've covered this subject several times, especially in the early days of the Aloha Perspective, which went under a different name at the time. But I've blocked all those videos off. So the only thing you're going to see now if you try to go back is the Aloha Perspective, because I really want to focus in on that. Every time I see the other title, I think about all this crap that went around it and why I had to change the name of the show. And it's fine. It's just, I would happily have done it, because I don't want to step on toes. And I thought I did all my homework on who had what name, and nobody had this name, but somebody used the hashtag. And so, which is funny because it's actually copyrighted by someone else. But as you can see, it just brings up this irate feeling in me, because it was just so rude the way it all went down. So I didn't want to focus on that anymore, right? I wanted to focus on the positive stuff. And the Aloha Perspective, everybody really seems to kind of, zero in on. They love the name. I should probably talk more about Aloha stuff, but Aloha is a very big and encompassing word. It's love, it's friendship, it's a feeling. And that's what I want this perspective to be. I want it to be a feeling that people have. Whether it's something that makes you think, or whether it's something that makes you want to go out there and conquer the world. These are the things I want to convey through this show. And I feel like maybe I might be finding my footing, but when it comes to the body positivity, I struggle with that heavily. No pun intended, every day. And I try so hard to just, really kind of counteract my negative thoughts. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to Google this today and let's see what we come up with, right? So again, this is going to be technically the 30 days of body positivity, but not technically, it is not 30 days in a row. Okay, I've done it where I've done like little Snapchat videos where I've done like, I started on the first day of the month and I finished on the 30th day of the month. This is not how it's going to be. It's days. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to be doing body positivity. Wednesday is self-care, and Friday, of course, if you want to pop in, is the Oracle reading Friday. So, which is just kind of a fun way to end the week that a friend suggested almost 2 years ago. And it has stuck. So, it's a fun journey. It's a fun thing. You never know. Sometimes you can see me going, oh my God, this is amazing. So I wanted to cover this because I realize after reading this article on Psychology Today by Dr. Jessica Oliva, I've been coming at body positivity the wrong way, right? We talk about, I'm going to post this article too, because I think you should read it all the way through. But there is a paragraph I want to really kind of touch base on during this talk, during this show. But I realized that, we focus on how can I get rid of the negative body image? What can I do to get rid of the negative body image? What causes the negative body image? Did this cause a negative body image? Did that cause a negative body image? Why do you have a negative body image? Was it picked up from someone subtly that you didn't realize? Maybe a family member who struggled with their body, image. And there's so many different things that we've tried to go through. But what this article talks about is how, in a way, that was the study. But now in more recent years, they've been talking about positive body image, not negative body image, positive body image. So instead of focusing on who, what, where, when, why, they're focusing on how to love yourself. How to just be who you want to be. I went to a 4th of July party the other day, right? And I absolutely love the body positivity going on with the younger folk. The younger folk, I know, right? So, yesterday at my eye doctor appointment, my doctor's like, oh, I see you've been collecting years. He's all, that might be the problem with the eyes, but it's like, no, it's like I've been wearing glasses since 3rd grade. So, it has nothing to do with my age. In fact, one of my eyes got better. So, and the other one, well, actually, yeah, one of them got better and the other one stayed the same. So anyways, I have notes I'm going to read, but I'm just, this is what happens when I start thinking about things I have to talk about that I know are going to kind of be hitting me between the eyes. And by what I mean by hitting me between the eyes is this is stuff I need to learn as well. I've struggled with my body positivity. I'm going to be going through this with you. Okay, it's just like it says in the title, subject line, whatever, the interior notes of this. I'm going to be on this journey with you. I don't have a set 30 things. I'm going to be compiling things over the next over the next couple of months to share with you. And like I said, one of the reasons I don't want to do 1 through 30 is because I want people to be able to think about this. All right. When I want you to have Monday and Tuesday and Self-Care Wednesday, you can think about all these different ways that you might be able to help yourself. Then we have a topic Thursday, and then, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can think about all those 3 days. How can I implement these into my life? Some of the problems with 30-day challenges is that they go like this, but they don't focus enough. They're like, today, love your body. And you're like, okay. And you might love your body the first time you see it, in the mirror, like, hey, I love you. And because you're trying, right? But then the next day, go out there and do something that you wouldn't normally do to appreciate your body. And what it's doing is it's building a habit for you to love your body. But I think for a lot of us, the 30 days isn't enough. Maybe you've had trauma in your past. Maybe, like I said, you've, subtly picked up the nuances of somebody who had a body positivity issue, who had a body image issue, or an emotional eater. I'm an emotional eater, and I'm a semi-recovering emotional eater. I say semi because I keep falling off the wagon. But the one thing I've learned is to stop beating myself up about it. And that doesn't mean, oh my God, I ate like this today, I'm going to eat nothing but vegetables and fruits tomorrow. No. Because what you're doing is you're just reinforcing, in my opinion, okay, this is my perspective. But for me, when I do things like that, it's like, okay, I got to jump back on the wagon. I'm reinforcing this negative stereotype that, I had a bad day, so, I have to just be perfect tomorrow. There is no perfection in my world, at least. You just get back on the horse and you do what you normally do, and you try not to binge or emotionally eat the next day. But you don't shame yourself, and you don't make yourself feel bad. If you want that protein shake, or maybe you feel so icky that, you want some more vegetables or fruits, that's fine. That's fine. But don't shame yourself. Don't say, I have to eat these today because. No, just say, I'm feeling kind of icky and maybe I need to clean myself out, so some fiber might be great. And then you eat the fiber, you eat the banana, you eat whatever brings fiber. Maybe you take your greens in the morning, or your probiotics, and all the probiotics are actually good to take every day anyway. But you don't shame yourself. So like I said, we're going to be on this journey together, because these are things I really, really want to learn myself, and I'm really, really hoping I learn. So no, I'm not hoping I learn it. I'm going to learn it, because I need this. I need this too. So like I said, I realized I've been coming at this all wrong. I've been coming at it as, the negative thing and, this, that, and the other, but we should be talking about positivity. We should be talking about positive body image. Like I said, the party I went to the other day, it was just wonderful to see. I mean, and I don't want to bring up body image because none of them thought about it. They're just like, I'm wearing this and I don't care. I don't care. And I mean, by modern day society's beauty standards, they just had beautiful body positivity image or body image. And it's nice to see. Nobody thought about anything. Everybody just running around in their bathing suits and just being happy and having fun. There was no issue. And I mean, I literally had anxiety going there because, I don't see some of these people a lot, except maybe once a year. And it's just, I do get anxiety about my own self-image and my own body image. So let's try to plug this in. All right. So number one, I'm going to be leaning heavily on this article today. And the article was called Body Positivity. What goes around comes around. Promoting body positivity can make you feel more body positive yourself. So I'm going to read this first. The emerging research on positive body image is teaching us many important and interesting things. One of the most fascinating characteristics about people with a positive body image is that they tend to promote body positivity to other people. For example, by being a role model to others about the importance of accepting one's own body and criticizing unrealistic beauty standards. Okay? So again, for example, by being a role model to others about the importance of accepting one's own body and criticizing unrealistic beauty standards. Now, you don't have to go around criticizing unrealistic beauty standards, but you can't ignore them. Okay? Because I got news for you. Some of these bodies that you see on these magazines, a lot of them are photoshopped, a lot of them are airbrushed, and a lot of the people who have their photos taken are like, hey, why did you do that? Well, it sells more. So, don't worry about these unrealistic body standards, okay? You need to do what makes you happy. I don't care what size you are, thick, thin, short, tall, whatever. Body image comes in all shapes and sizes. Negative body image comes in all shapes and sizes. You could know a bodybuilder who has the worst self-image in the world, and you could come across, what people would consider a, overweight person who has the best body positivity, best body image possible. They just love themselves. They're like, hey, I don't care. You're going to love me for me or, whatever, you're out. So you never know who you're going to come across. And a lot of times people are not vocal about this. So you have no idea what somebody might be struggling with. You might have no idea that somebody posting that meme about, oh, well, you shouldn't eat that because, blah, blah, blah. They might be struggling with that. And that might be their own thing. That might be their own hang up in their own head. So I'm going to circle back to how I feel about some of those things. So anyways, let's see. At the same time, people with a positive body image surround themselves with other people who are body positive too, and who love and accept their body. This phenomenon, being body positive and promoting body positivity to others, and also having peers who are doing the same, has been termed reciprocity. Or reciprocity is already a word, but this is what they've deemed it. They deemed it, so basically what goes around comes around, right? They are promoting this healthy body image and just loving themselves no matter how they are, or how people might, well, I shouldn't say how they are, no matter how the world might see them. And they're just living their life, and they're surrounding themselves with people who love them regardless, right? It's kind of like, you know what? You're perfect just the way you are. I like you just the way that you are. Hello, Bridget Jones. Remember that scene where she's just like, oh my gosh, he likes me just the way I am. Okay, so these are some of my notes. The past has focused a lot on negative body image, but in recent years, the narrative has been flipped to focus on the positive body image. In my humble opinion, the difference, negative focuses on what is wrong. Positivity teaches us we're lovely just as we are. Cue the Bridget Jones reference, right? I like you just the way you are. So, but yeah, I mean, the negative part does. It focuses on everything we think is wrong with us. So we need to flip the narrative. We need to flip the narrative and stop worrying about what we think is wrong with us and how to fix it. And instead, just being happy with where we are now, how we look, how we feel, everything. And like I said, this isn't about plus size people. This is about any size people. When I was skinny, I hated my body. As a plus size person, I'm still hating my body. And, when I was skinny, I hated my body because, it did get me a lot of attention. But also, and it made me uncomfortable because of the traumas I'd been through. But also, I thought I was just the ugliest person in the world because of the trauma I'd been through. As a plus size person, the world and their beauty standards tell me you are unacceptable. And I have one word for that. Actually, I have two symbols for that. That's right. That's how I feel about that. Because you know what? When we need to criticize the beauty standards of the world. There's always going to be somebody who thinks, oh my God, I can't believe they're dating that person because blah, 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 right? But there's always something. Somebody may not find the person you're with attractive. Somebody may find something wrong with them. And maybe it's because they're not happy. Maybe it's because they are wallowing in their own self-pity and don't even realize it. So they're going to criticize everything around them to make themselves feel better. And we can't always be mean to those people because they may be hurting inside. They may be struggling on the inside. You know, I mean, I see a lot of people on my Facebook. These are people I know doing their workouts. Yeah, this helps me mentally, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you know what? Exercising can help you mentally. I mean, it can really get you into focus. But on the flip side, there's people like me. And people will look at us and say, well, you're not very motivated. You're not this, you're not that. You know what? Some days, you know, in the last couple of months, there were days where just getting out of bed felt like a victory. Literally, where getting out of bed felt like a victory. And I don't always like to share that because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I don't want people to think, oh my God, she's broken. I was broken for a long time. But this spiral was different. This spiral was because I have had this inability to move forward in my life, to move away from my past and everything that happened in my past. It had become so much of my identity that I didn't realize I was holding myself back. I put those blocks in front of my wheels, right? And I wasn't able to move forward. And at some point I realized I have to remove those blocks. And that's where the spiral came in. That's where the struggle came in. It was scary. It's like taking away Linus's security blanket, right? From the Peanuts cartoons. It's like putting SpongeBob on a beach. Right? I mean, he's going to dry out and shrivel up and die. And that's how you feel. You feel like the air just gets sucked out of you. Because it's scary. Because you're not used to it. And, you know, the older you get, the harder it is sometimes to leave these things behind. Some people do it like this. I am not one of those people. And it's because I tried to control everything so hard. And then I saw something last week that says, release control and trust the universe. And in your case, you know, whatever, put it into your higher power's hands. You know, release control and let them handle it. Let the universe handle it. Let whatever it is that you put your faith into, handle it. If you don't put your faith into everything, show yourself that you trust yourself. Have faith in yourself. And you should have that anyway. Even if you were letting go of control and putting it in your higher power's hands or the universe's hands, you should still have faith and trust in yourself that you are going to hear these things, or that you're going to make the right choices, or you're going to make the right decision, or if you fall off of the wagon of whatever it is, that you are going to be able to get back on, you know, the horse. You know, there are plenty of people out there who have, you know, substance addictions. And, you know, maybe there was a show I used to watch, Mom. I love that show. And it's about a bunch of women in recovery, right? And one of them struggled so hard. And she didn't want to go back to the meeting because she's like, I don't want to keep taking a one-day chip. And they kept telling her, you know what, you have to. You know, this is recovery. There's no shame in continually taking a one-day chip. Because it means you're there. It means you're working on trying to get yourself better, to try to move away from those. And I know some people say, oh yeah, seriously, Shelley Marie, you know, being an emotional eater is nothing. It is an actual eating disorder. It's not one of the fancier ones. You know, it's like the redheaded stepchild of, forgive the term, I love redheads, but, you know, I'm just using the term loosely. But yeah, it's like the unwanted, right? It's like that little evil thing sitting in the corner that nobody wants to talk about. Because, you know, there's a difference between comfort food and emotional eating. Emotional eating is when comfort food becomes every meal. Emotional eating is when you have an issue, or you're sad, or maybe you're exuberantly happy and you feed that feeling. You're feeding the feelings. That's emotional eating. And it's the same as, you know, people who have the more traditional eating disorders. So, you know, if you're an emotional eater, don't beat yourself up. You know, don't sit there and shame yourself the next day and say, I gotta eat everything that's green and, you know, bright and rainbowy. Just get back on the horse. Remind yourself that, hey, things happen. Okay? And if you keep doing it days in a row, just keep getting back on that horse and telling yourself, I can get a handle on this. I can get control of this. My tummy's growling. Isn't that ironic? So I only say that because one time, older sibling heard it, and I'm like, oh man, the mic, that's a stronger mic than I thought it was. So anyways, again, in my humble opinion, that is the difference between negative body image and the research on that versus the the positive body image and focusing more on that, focusing less on why we're like this and focusing more on pulling ourselves out of this. You know, there's nothing wrong with looking at it and saying, wow, why am I here? But sometimes we get stuck, right? We get stuck on that little hamster wheel and we keep thinking, oh, well, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here. Instead of going, how can I change this? You know, I mean, if you're watching a hamster on the wheel, right? You stick a pencil in there, that hamster's going to go up and then fall down. I've never done that. But, you know, I've never done that. But I've seen cartoons, okay? I've seen cartoons. So, not that it's right, but it was funny. But, and they just look at you. No wonder, you know what? No wonder sometimes animals bite us, right? Because we're just assholes sometimes. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, what I'm saying is that if you put something in that wheel's just going to stop. And sometimes that's what we need. We need someone to put that pencil into the little spoke of our, in between the slats of our hamster wheel to knock us on our butt and help us pick ourselves up and move out of that habit, to get us off that wheel of constant negativity and push us in to, you know, get that proverbial slap upside the head. Not literal, guys, just figuratively, okay? Don't go whapping people upside the head or you're going to get punched. So, be careful. So, reducing negative doesn't necessarily mean people will respond. Focusing on positive can help the mindset. So, again, reducing the negative, reducing the negative body image doesn't necessarily mean people will respond. So sometimes when we talk negative, it's that hamster wheel, right? But when we talk positive, that hamster's like, hey, look, I have a whole jungle gym in here. I'm just going to run all over the damn place because I can. You know, because all of a sudden he's not just looking, or he or she, whatever, you know, the hamster's not just looking at the wheel anymore. It's not just focusing and running and running and running and running. It's like, wow, look at all the tubes I have. Holy cow. When did my entire cage expand into a room? And the world gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And when, you know, sometimes the lovely pet owners will sit there and they'll have a tube that just runs around the house and then runs back into the cage. You know, so there's a lot of freedom for that little hamster, right? And that's how our world expands. When we stop looking at the negative aspects of ourselves and we start looking at the positive aspects of ourselves, not just body image, but everything, the world can get bigger and it can get brighter. And we can see things that we could not see before because we were afraid to, or because we just couldn't get off that wheel. So the next one, so yeah, this is where I talk about, starting for the next few months on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we will cover body image slash body positivity subjects. I've been jumping all over the page here, right? I mean, I've only been gone for 2 days and I act like I haven't done this show in like a month. But you know me, like I said, I mean, what's the tagline? A little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. I'm always all over the place and it's part of my delightful charm. So, you know, if you've been watching me long enough, you're used to it. If not, get used to it. Because I'm so random sometimes and I ramble. In fact, my show at the very beginning was called Random Ramblings because that's me. But then it became not so random. But I do random ramble a lot. So, that being said, I think, yeah, it's just part of my charm, right? It's part of my human makeup. I am all over the place. I always have so much to say. But all I'm asking is that if you are here and you're like, I don't have any of these problems. I don't need to watch this. I don't need to do this. This isn't my thing. All I'm asking, and I wrote this down so I get it right. Please put aside your preconceived notions and your body dislikes, and let's flip our own narrative for body love. Okay, we've got this. We've got this. Let's do this. Let's go on this journey together. And let's hope that over the next couple of months, when we've had these extra days during the week to think about all of these subjects, that we move into a good place. Like I said, there's a lot of, you know, I belong to a group on Facebook and everybody is so healthy in this group. Everybody is so, you know, on point in this group. Everybody just, you know, they take such good care of themselves. And I don't always post in there because I just feel like I'm so inadequate. And I feel like I don't belong. But I like to be in this group because it's very positive. Nobody talks about body image. Nobody talks about, oh, I'm so fat, or oh my God, no, it's none of that. Sometimes they might say, oh my God, I had this today, so I'm really going to hit the greens hard tomorrow. And, so sometimes I think the negativity pops out, but that could also be them. Maybe they have medical issues. Maybe they're type 2 diabetic, or maybe they're type 1 and they overindulged, or maybe they have high cholesterol, or maybe this, that, or the other, and they overindulged. And I have to tell you, I am very grateful for my health. I know I'm a plus size girl. I know I need to take better care of my heart. I'm getting an echocardiogram next Sunday, not this Sunday, next Sunday. And so, which is odd, right? A doctor's appointment on a Sunday. But anyways, I feel bad for the person that has to do it. It's like, hi, thanks for working on Sunday so I can come in and get my heart checked. But everything else is fine. Everything else falls into the numbers, everybody looks at me and says, well, surely you have high cholesterol, high triglycerides. They're all within standard range. You've got to be type 2. I'm in the standard range. And so, knock wood. I'm very lucky. I'm very grateful. And, but, as you all know, like I said, I have to take care of my heart. She's a powerful warrior, this girl. I was going to say she's a powerful bitch, but she is. This is my hamster, and this is the wheel, and I'm the hamster, and I have to take better care of it so I can live a long time, right? I don't want to just, up and die one day. So, which is possible, right? For anybody. It doesn't matter if you have a heart problem or not, but, my chances increase quite a bit. So, I don't want that to happen. I'm finally in a good place, and I want to live this life. I want to live this life hard. I mean, not like crazy adrenaline junkie hard, because I'm a bit of a coward in a lot of ways. Jumping out of planes is not what I think is. I do not find that idea to be any sort of fun at all. But some people do. Some people do. My adrenaline junkieism came from roller coasters. I love roller coasters. But yeah. Anyways, I know it might seem like I'm running off and rambling off into 5 directions, but this is what happens when I start to face the idea of having a positive body image. I had someone say to me once, if you lost weight, you would probably have a boyfriend. And I literally wanted to cry when I heard it. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it's like, if you lost weight, what's actually said is, you're a very pretty person, but if you lost weight, you would be beautiful and probably not single. And like I said, it still makes me very emotional, and I wanted to cry so hard. And all I said is, that is the meanest thing I've ever heard. And then the next thing I said, because I was feeling a little defensive, was, if somebody doesn't like me as I am now, they don't deserve me. If they can't handle me now, they don't deserve me at my best. What's the phrase? If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And I truly believe that. If you cannot handle me at my worst, you do not deserve me at my best. But there's also kind of negative, connotation in that, right? Did I use that right? Clearly, I'm not the one that reads the dictionary every day. But there's a negative spin on that, right? Because if you don't deserve me at my worst, or if you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. But maybe the worst is what's up here. Stop thinking this is the worst. Whatever you see in the mirror, no matter what size you are, if you struggle with body dysmorphia, if you struggle with body positivity, if you struggle with your body image, no matter what size you are, this is the journey we're going to take together. We're going to do this. We're going to fall in love with ourselves. And, that might help you. If you're struggling with your weight for health reasons, maybe, when you learn to love yourself, sometimes we start to let go of the bad habits and we don't even realize it because we start focusing on different things. It's not necessarily, oh, I need to exercise. No, maybe you start writing a book. Maybe you start painting. Maybe you start making music, or maybe you do go for walks. Maybe you decide, hey, I really love the outdoors. I'm going to try to hike this trail. I don't know how far I'm going to get. And don't push yourself too hard, because remember, the farther you go, you got to walk that distance back. And please, don't go alone. All right? Do not go alone. But I know some people love it. If you're with friends, just say, hey, let's all take, 10 minutes to just be quiet and be in peace if you need that. But even expert hikers, bad things can happen. So, if you are going to go alone, make sure you have all of the things you need to be okay, or at least survive a night in case you get lost. Satellite phones, use your phones. Make sure you have extra battery to charge that phone just in case. Please, I know. A very wonderful actor was hiking in our local forest down here in Southern California, and he passed away. And just sometimes weather can be a bitch, literally. And a seasoned hiker, but even some of the best sometimes run into situations that they just don't expect. So it was just very sad. It was very, very sad. And I'm not saying just him. Lots of people actually, and there were a lot of seasoned hikers that actually got pulled off that mountain this last winter, because it was an unusual winter for us. It rained a lot more than we were used to. It got colder a lot more than we're, used to. I shouldn't say used to, but used to in recent years. So, like I said, weather can change like that. So just be careful, take your precautions, have extra stuff just in case. And like I said, if you want to go alone. If you're not alone, still do all these things, because you never know. But if you don't, if you want to have that peace, you want to have that quiet, just say to your friends, hey, you know what? Let's take a beat and let's just enjoy nature, and let's not talk. And, they're out there in nature with you. I'm sure they're not going to care. And who knows, you might introduce them to this beautiful new feeling of just being a part of nature. All right. So again, please put aside your preconceived notions of what you think body positivity or body image is. It does not have a shape or size. Okay. It does not have a weight. It does not have a perfect weight. What it has is a mental mindset that we're going to work on building into a habit. Now, even though we're only going to be doing this on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I want you to practice all these things. The first thing I want you to start with, every time you pass a mirror today, you are enough. All right. That's actually going to be a subject. I have a list of 10 things we're going to start with, and I'm going to talk about each and every single one of them. I was trying to move away from sharing my own experiences, because this isn't just a show about, it's not a show about me. It's a show about me sharing my experiences to help other people on their journey and through their experiences. But I'm going to have to zero in on some of the some of the stuff that I've gone through to help people understand better that you're not alone. Okay, you're not alone. But I'm not going to try to focus too much on my story anymore. All right, y'all know my story. This is about us taking a journey together. Okay, so if you're feeling some of these things, maybe you come on a live, if you want to. It's, you can come onto a live and not say anything at all. In fact, half the time I can't see who's on anyway. One day I thought only sibling was on, and it turns out 5 people were watching live. And I know that may not seem like a lot, but I do this at 8:30 in the morning on the Pacific, in the Pacific. I do this at 8 in the morning in California. Okay. So a lot of people are at work. A lot of people watch these things later. And I'm always surprised when I hear them say, I was like, whoa, I didn't know you watched that. They're all like, oh yeah, I don't get up at 8:30, or I'm at work at 8:30, so I'll watch it later. And I think it's just important for us to know, again, that body positivity is not about your size. It's not about your weight. It's about who you see in the mirror and how much you should love that person. You are the one relationship you are going to have for your entire life. You can either hate you or you can love you. I'm not going to give us an in-between, because there really is no in-between. If there is an in-between, it is shifting more towards the negative. Self-love, body positivity, body image. Good Lord, my speech patterns are problematic today. They need to be better. We need to be better. And we need to love ourselves more. It is not a narcissistic trait. Self-care and self-love is a chosen trait. Okay, you were doing this for you. You were promoting a good mindset. You were saying, you know what? I am beautiful in the mirror. You're not walking into the room saying, I am the fucking hottest person in this room. F you all. No, that's like a narcissistic behavior. Instead, you're walking into the room and saying, I feel good about this and I belong here. That's body positivity. That's body image. That is self-love. That is self-care. That is self-worthiness, self-respect, all self-awareness, all the wonderful self things. It is not about being a negative human being. Okay? So again, you either love yourself or you hate yourself. And we're shifting into the love. Because we should. Because like I said, you were the one relationship you're going to have your entire life. So make it a good one. All right? That was day one. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Tomorrow is Oracle Friday, Aloha Oracle Friday. So you can take today's show and you have the next 3 days to think about it. And then Monday, we're gonna hit the ground running. All right, day two of positivity. I'm just going to call them days. Okay. I know it's not necessarily day 2, but I'm just going to call them day 2 because every time I try to shift that into a different narrative or a different, language of, how I'm going to say it, it just confuses me. So it's going to be day 2 or I try lesson 2 and this and that. It always comes back to the days. So just remember, they are not going to be 30 consecutive days. They're going to be 3 lessons a week. And we're going to talk about it, and then you can spend extra time, those extra days, thinking about these things. All right? So maybe even make a list. What is it that I want to change that I don't see in the mirror? Or when I look in the mirror, there's this negative connotation in there. I think I used that right again. God, I swear. It's like, I do use, 75-cent words, but just not that often. And then I second guess myself when I do use the big words. So, I know. I need to work on that too. I need to work on the self-confidence. And with the body image and the body positivity, the positive body image, that's going to help with the self-esteem. That's going to help with the confidence. Because you're going to love yourself. You're going to see who you see in the mirror. And you're going to be like, yeah, somebody might say something crappy to me, but it's okay. It's okay. See, I think sometimes people say crappy things to us because they think it's going to help us change or help us move in the direction we need to move into. But that's their standard. The only standard you need to live by is your standard. And you need to figure out what that standard is. Do I want to constantly put myself down and berate myself, or do I want to love myself and, promote this wonderful feeling of who I am? Be you. Be who you are. Be who you're comfortable being. But if you're in a position, like I said, where maybe you're not in the body, the body type that you want to be at the moment, then do something about it. Don't be negative about it. Just do something about it. But while you're doing that, change your mindset so you don't go backwards when you reach a goal, if you have a goal. Just love your body as it does stuff. Because the outside is always going to change. The inside is what's going to matter. The inside is really where we live from. The heart, the brain. It's what's inside of us that matters. It's what's inside of here. Okay, so I'm going to finish this off with one of my favorite things that I love to say when we talk about these sorts of things and how we see ourselves. What you say is what you hear. It's what your brain is going to process, and it's going to end up being what you see. So if you're putting negative stuff into here instead of positive stuff, that's what you're going to hear. That's what your brain's going to process in that little noodle, or in that big noodle, in your noodle. Sorry, just figurative. And that is exactly what you're going to see. But if you put the positive in there, that's what you're going to hear. That's what you're going to process. And that's what you're going to see. Is it easy at first? Not for everybody. And some people's journeys are different. This might be the first journey of body positivity that someone's taking. And it might take more than this. Or it might hit them right between the eyes and go, whoa, this is exactly what I needed. This is the right thing at the right time in my journey. And somebody else might say, oh man, that was hard. But the seeds have been planted. So, maybe maybe your seed grows like a weed and it's just like, woohoo! Or maybe your seed is a big tall tree in the making. So that's your choice. Okay. But like I said, put aside your preconceived notions, come on this journey with me, because I think it's going to be a good ride. And I know I am finally in the place I need to be, where I think this is finally going to make a difference in my life. I'm finally going to start to see the person that I know is in here, and that I know is lovable and funny and awkward and majestically awkward, delightfully awkward, and just fun, right? I need to get back to being fun. I miss the social butterfly part of me. So I think this will be good for all of us. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public. Tomorrow's Oracle Friday. Even if it's not your thing, why not pop on? Just check it out. You know, you never know. You might get a message you weren't expecting, right? You're just like, oh, this is crap. But oh my God, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. That's what it's all about. And I work from a good place, so, don't be afraid of that part, all right? So again, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to do this. We're going to be great at this. And it's really going to change our way of thinking, even if you're at the beginning, the middle, or the end of whatever journey you are on. Have a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. And if you do not come on to Oracle Friday, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I'll catch you for day 2 of Body Positivity on Monday.